What's up, everybody? Austin here. We got to talk about what's going on in the world of crypto. Coinbase just laid off 18% of its workforce. Bitcoin and other cryptos are down anywhere from 25 to 50 to 80% in the last 5 days. But there's a couple things I want to point out and some reckless behavior that I think actual investors should be aware of and avoid if they're considering having exposure to crypto in their portfolio. So let's get into it. Coinbase announced this morning that they're laying off 18% of the workforce as executives prepare for recession and crypto winter. Coinbase will cut 18% of full-time jobs, according to an email that was sent to employees this morning. CEO Brian Armstrong pointed to a possible recession, a need to manage costs, and growing too quickly during a bull market. We appear to be entering a recession after a 10-year economic boom. Armstrong says, while it's hard to predict the economy or the markets, we always plan for the worst so we can operate the business through any environment. The truth of the matter is, if I had to guess, Coinbase as a company will probably survive because of how strong of a cash position they had. They're making severe cuts right now. There was a lot of excess in crypto, and so I think these cuts are necessary. But I think because of these cuts and how drastic they are right now, Coinbase will probably ultimately survive. I don't know what's going to happen, but that's my gut feeling. But the fear is that we see more of these big, drastic, scary cuts in other companies, whether it's in crypto or other tech companies or just companies in the economy. We've already seen some job cuts. And so I think, just looking back, what happened was COVID was so crazy. It threw such a wrench in everything. We shut the economy down, and then people started to get money from the government and get more interested in tech and investing in crypto. And there was a lot of demand for these different services and products, everything from crypto to buying items online. And so a lot of companies had to aggressively hire because not only were they seeing insane demand, they had no idea how long it was going to last, but they also had a lot of unknowns in their workforce, people that were out of work because of being sick with COVID or for moving or whatever reason. It was very unpredictable who was going to be at work and who wasn't. And so to fill those gaps, companies just had to hire as many people as possible and meet that demand. And now we're just seeing the whiplash of it. This is what Bitcoin has done over the last 5 days. Bitcoin itself is down 26%. Ethereum is down 32% in the last 5 days. The overall market this morning looks to be just barely up. If I had to guess, it'll go negative at some point today. And then, as always, let's share my portfolio that I share transparently here in every video. I do portfolio updates on Fridays, so that's not the point of this video. Today, we're down 0.11%, about 56 bucks. And all time, we're down $17,700. Ignore that 51%. I've put in $67,000. If you divide 17,700 by 67,000, it's not 51%. It's more like 30% or a little bit under 30% off the top of my head. Still not good, but I'm adding to this portfolio over time. And if you've watched videos, you've seen it before. I'm comfortable we'll come back because I'm trying to invest responsibly and build these positions up over time. Although they are risky positions, as you can see. What I want to point out is just reckless behavior that has gone on in crypto, and it went on in stocks too. But this is what happens when reckless behavior gets out of control. I got blocked by Raoul Pal this morning. He's the founder or leader of Real Vision, which they sell doom and gloom basically. But back in October 28th of 2001, Raoul said, just so we are clear, I'm more than irresponsibly long Ethereum right now. I now have leveraged via calls. This is by far and away the biggest personal position of my entire life by a factor of 10 or more. My view for this part is 6 to 9 months on this trade. It's been 8 months and Ethereum's down 80%. Not to pick on Raoul here, but I think he's a very influential figure, and it's possible that if we're out there on social media or watching YouTube videos, maybe even watching my videos, that our thoughts and behaviors could be influenced by what we're watching. And it's so important to know what you're what you're looking at and do your own research and have your own process, no matter who it is you're watching, and stay away from reckless, irresponsible behavior. It's very vague what exactly that means, and he probably kept it that way on purpose. This guy runs a business that he was trying to get subscribers with this tweet, and so the losses that he has from this position, maybe it's his largest position, who knows, he never showed it, but maybe it is his largest position ever, but it was only 1% of his total wealth because he's got so much money coming in from other means. Okay, that's the kind of thing we have to think about. But the point is that there was just a lot of irresponsible behavior. And here's another example of just complete idiocy and recklessness. Honestly, it's just idiotic that people with this much influence that are leading public companies are out here talking this way about any asset, but especially something as volatile as crypto. This guy, Michael Saylor, has told people to essentially mortgage their houses or take loans against their mortgage to go all in on Bitcoin. And this is, 50, 60% ago. There's a difference between being wrong. I'm wrong on stock picks all the time, and recklessly influencing people or leading people to potentially make horrible decisions with huge amounts of their wealth by encouraging them to do reckless things. Bitcoin's plunge spells trouble for the dot-com era entrepreneur who went all in. A $4 billion bet on Bitcoin by software company MicroStrategy. Here's the thing. MicroStrategy was a terrible company. It was a terrible investment from 1998 through 2019. It trailed the S&P 500. The revenue was barely growing, and the company was essentially just stagnant and alive, but on its path to a slow death. And so he saw this opportunity with this crypto boom, and he's a smart guy and realized the influence he could have and the PR he could get. And the only hope for a company in MicroStrategy's position is to take some big reckless bet on this, because what happens if MicroStrategy goes bankrupt? They're just going to go through bankruptcy court. He's going to be fine. The company might even ultimately survive, but people invested in the company are going to get destroyed, which is what has happened. But anyways, the dot-com bubble era firm's Bitcoin stash is now worth $2.9 billion, translating to an unrealized loss of more than $1 billion. I think it's actually up to $1.25 billion. And so the whole point of this thing is all of these gurus and geniuses have been out here talking about crypto and their bets on it, Ethereum going to 20K and Bitcoin going to 100K, and somehow they've just gained all of this influence and all of this momentum. And they literally, this type of behavior propped up the price. And then we've seen things cascade due to reckless behavior, like everything that happened with Luna, what's going on with Celsius right now. And so the point of it all is, if you want exposure to this stuff, get exposure to it, but keep it as a reasonable amount of your portfolio, whatever that is, and don't let hype influence your decisions. And anytime it feels like there's I'm going to buy this thing and get rich in a month and sell it for higher than I bought it for, and that's my short-term plan. Usually, if I have those feelings, I'm like, that's a terrible decision. Something's influencing me and I need to just back down. I'm acting emotional right now and I have fear of missing out. So I'm frustrated with the recklessness that has gone on in crypto. It happened in SPACs too. It happened in the types of stocks I invest in. I'm not totally innocent from it, although I would never on YouTube or anywhere else recommend anybody go irresponsibly long or anything like that. Not that I give financial advice. And I don't have nearly the influencer following that these guys do. But this type of reckless behavior just spells disaster. It could be right for a while, but it spells disaster. So that's all for this Coinbase and crypto update. And would love to know if you've got exposure to crypto in the comments, or if you've avoided some of this chaos and craziness.